Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Hare.
So we are in chapter 1, shloka 15.
Shloka 15. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadatam Dhananjayaha Punjam Dadmau Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha. You want to go to Sanskrit now?
Yeah, so you're going to say it and I'll repeat it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Panchajanyam
Panchajanyam
Rishikesho
Rishikeshu
Devadatam
Devadatam
Dhananjayaha
Dhananjayaha
Pandram Dadmau Mahashankam Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha. Good. Translation. Then Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his to Devadatta, and Bhima, the ferocious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pandram.
Mine says, Sri Krishna Maharaja blew the conch named Panchajanya. Arjuna blew the conch named Devadatta, and Bhimasena, the one with terrible deeds, blew the great conch named Pandra.
The purport. Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. The impersonalists cannot account for the senses of the living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities as senseless and impersonal. The Lord, situated in the hearts of all living entities, directs their senses, but he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity, and in the case of a pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. Here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Rishikesha. The Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhu Sundara because he killed the demon Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and to the senses. His name is Vasudeva because he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. His name is Devaki Nandan because he accepted Devaki as his mother. His name is Nanda because he awarded his childhood pastimes to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Partha Sarati because he worked as a charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesha because he gave direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjaya in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhima is known as Vrikodara because he could eat as ferociously as he could perform Herculean tasks, such as killing the demon Hidimba. So the particular types of conch shell blown by the different personalities on the side of the Pandavas, beginning with the lords, were all encouraging to fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Director. nor that of the goddess of fortune. So they were predestined to lose the battle, and that was a message announced by the songs of the Conches.
My explanation says, this verse describes the beginning of the Mahabharata war. It mentions Lord Krishna and the Pandavas blowing their conches, which is a sign of preparation for war. Panchajanyam Hirshikesha. Hirshikesha is a name of Lord Krishna. He's blowing his conch. Panchajanya Devadatam Dhanajaya. Dhanajaya is a name for Arjuna, and he is blowing his conch Devadatta. Pandram Daduma Mahashankaham Bhima Karam Vigoda. Bhima, who is famous for his mighty deeds and is also called Vrikodara, is blowing his large conch Pandara. Thus, this verse depicts the blowing of conches by various warriors as an announcement of the beginning of the war. Not only does blowing of conches indicate the beginning of the war, but it also shows the courage and confidence of the warriors. The blowing of the conch shells by great warriors like Sri Krishna, Arjuna, and Bhima signifies that the Pandava side is fully prepared and confident for the war. Mine doesn't give as much detail that yours did in regards to both sides.
Yeah, so this is where Sri Krishna blew his shell, Arjuna and Bhima.
Yeah, it was interesting, I couldn't imagine being a person, in the war on the Corona side, and if you're practicing your faith, then knowing that there was no deity supporting you, it makes me wonder, like, how aware are they of this war? It's interesting. It's interesting.
One thing I like about this verse is that it starts off within my explanation that Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha because he is the owner of all the senses. So your five senses, he has control over the five senses. So I like that part.
Why?
It shows that Sri Krishna, Vishnu, he sleeps amidst chaos. And Krishna, he's also there on a battlefield without anxiety, and he has self-control. He's the most perfect person with control of all the senses. Compared to us humans, we know there's something to eat, we satisfy our hunger, then we want a piece more. This is not controlling of their senses, or when it comes to lust, we can't control ourselves in that aspect. But Sri Krishna he referred as the most perfect being. These things, it don't affect him because he conquers all the five senses.
So then tell me about a story I've heard about him and these girls when he was younger. Right?
He was mischievous.
So he was, but it's through discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he
was childlike.
Right. So we are too. So it's about the discipline and the coming into awareness. Like, yes, should I have a slice of a birthday cake? Yes, I can enjoy it and be satisfied rather than eating half the cake. Right. So it's about finding the balance of living life, but at the same time understanding where our health is, where our morals are, and the consequences, because that's the thing, that it's about the consequence of those senses. So you could see something in beauty. Now, let's take, for example, we're two young women, right? I'm married and are you single?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's totally normal if a nice looking young man walks by and you're attractive or you find something about that person appealing. There's nothing wrong in the eye to be able to say, wow, that's beauty, because it's a creation of God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that even you're attracted to them because your body is responding in a way that's normal and natural. But it's about what you do and how you say and how you carry yourself that takes it to many different potentials, right? So it all comes back to you as the observer of the beauty, or the smelling of an odor, or like the tasting of food. It's like Krishna experiencing those things, and you can choose to be that way or choose to be a different way. But neither one is wrong. The thing is, all of them have consequences.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I like when I hear you when you say like he has control of all his five senses, but I'm pretty sure it took some time and some work in his human body. Right? And I think it's something to
Yes.
work towards and attain to. And the thing about anxiety is that I think anxiety, or what we deem as anxiety, is a way for our body to allow us to send out feelers and give us back information. Make sense? So what happens is that I think people, and this is my opinion, is that people we all have the feelers, but when the information comes back and our mind's not clear and our heart's not settled, it creates fear. Right? And it creates in our body, everybody's body is different on how it responds to the anxiety. So it shows up different for everybody. But if you are able to put out your feelers and you can get that information and have discernment as to whether it's your stuff or somebody else's stuff, right? Or if it's a fear, or if it's a worry, or if it's something that, you're afraid of, you can either build it up and let it confuse you and make it worse, or you can have the discernment to be able to figure it out. But I think it takes a lot of work to understand how you're feeling, how you're thinking.
That's true. It's different for me to try to control my senses would be different from you if you research on it. If you when we're doing Hawan, and we're doing Hawan, you have to touch your various parts of your body, right? Your nose, your eyes. So we're asking God to cleanse whatever it is, to purify the senses, to purify the five senses, to purify the entire body. So even a person like me into religious stuff and deep into meditation and these things, I sometimes find it difficult to control yourself. So this is why it could be different. It could be different for everybody, and it takes time and it takes practice to be a master over it. And I guess the only mastery for it would be perfect yogis. No?
They're human. They have their stuff, right? And it just would depend on the day. It would depend on the day. Because there are people that meditate for years and they say, I still have a hard time getting into it, right? Because life happens. I think that as you were sharing about doing the fire ceremony, having to touch yourself, right? Like to wash it over and all that. I think it's with anything, is that when we can identify what is the fear, because in Chinese medicine, everything is connected, right? All the organs, all the emotions, they all play a part. They're all interconnected. So anxiety, the way I want to say Western medicine describes it, is like this fear, right? It's the fear of the unknown. the fear of the unknown, usually if we go backwards based on Chinese medicine, it comes from worrying. So if you really look at what are you worried about? Like when you're doing your ceremonies and for you, it could be a tightness of the chest. For another person, it could be a quivering of the belly, right? For another person, it could feel the need to defecate or urinate, right? For another person, anxiety can be as a shortness of breath. When a person can identify where in their body they're feeling this, it's still fear. And it's still the fear coming from the worry. So then the question is, what is the worry? And a lot of the times when people look at what they're worrying about, it's usually something outside of their control. When they can identify and see, okay, what is this outside of my control? What can I control? So if you don't mind, I'll use you as an example, right? So if you're doing the fire ceremony and you have all your things placed in a space that's safe for you, you know your clothes are tucked in correctly, you don't have anything to drape over, lean over, right? You're not reaching over the fire to do something, that if you were to touch it intentionally, do you have to touch the hot, what's the word for the container?
The hawan kun.
The hawan, the kun. You don't necessarily have to touch it. Your intention is, okay, I'm going to get close enough and I'm going to clear myself, right? I'm going to touch my eyes and stuff. And then you're not necessarily burning yourself or causing danger to yourself. So if you already prepare to say, okay, I know I need to do this before I start, then you take that fear out, you take that worry out. And so that you can actually be present in the moment. And that's what anxiety will do for you. That's what fear will do for you. And that's what worry will do for you. It will take you outside of being present. It will take you outside of being in the moment. When we talk about being in the moment, how can you be in the moment and present if you have this worry? If you have this fear, right? But when you let that go because you've done the best you can to be in the moment and enjoy it, that ceremony, that fire ceremony, is going to take you to a whole nother level. And take you to a whole nother dimension because you can actually be present, be there. You're not having the tightness or, this flutter or, just that little thought in the back of your head.
Yeah.
And then the good thing is that for anything, say you go through your day and at the end of the day, reflect back on your day and see how you felt throughout the day. And if you felt any of those signs of anxiety in your body, then you can actually start identifying things that are triggering your receptors as to subconsciously what's happening in that situation or in the environment to make you feel that way. And it allows you then to be able to work through the next time you're in that situation and how you will handle it so that you're in a different space and that you don't have the same type of feeling, or at least it's less.
And it could be that you have to be aware when you're, like, if you try to correct that behavior another time, that thinking, you have to be aware to do it. And it takes effort, it takes practice to do it.
Yeah, 100%. But that's why when so many people are so disconnected from their body, and their body is a really great tool to be able to become aware. But a lot of people don't take the time to do the deep breath or the deep breathing to connect, to differentiate, some people will say, oh, my stomach hurts, but then they're up here. And it's like, well, that's not your stomach, but that's where they feel it. Right? Or their low back, but like it's on the side. It's not their low back, they're paying on the side. So it's why it's really important to ask, where are you feeling it? Because in their head and where they are in the body is not the same sometimes.
Yeah, we read that in psychology too.
Definitely ask, where do you feel it? And show me. Because you may think stomach and you know where anatomically it is, but for them it could be around their belly button. It could be in their lower abdominal area. And that's not where the stomach is, but that's the whole stomach is the abdomen for some people. And then this is what I was saying, in Chinese medicine, that specific place tells you, like, sometimes when people are having a hard time sorting out stuff, the pain is like around their belly button. It's a small intestine. And the small intestine in Chinese medicine is for sorting information and sorting out through your food.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. After your stomach digests the food, it goes to where? The small intestine. And after it gets in the small intestine, the small intestine job is to sort the waste and the water. So it's sorting. So when you have information, you get new information, and then you have to digest it. You got to figure out what you're learning, and then you got to sort it into areas to remember it. So your mental state is actually doing the same thing as the physical body. So that's why it's important when they're saying they have stomach aches, like where? And then a lot of the times it correlates with life and what's happening in life. So I'm glad that you shared that. Thank you very much. That he's in control of his senses. And you'll come to find in the goddess, in the praise of the goddess, so is she.
Yeah. And I learned that her name is also Chandrika.
Yes. She's got 1,000 names. She has 1,000 names.
Mahamaya, the great Devi. Mahamaya, the great Devi.
Mm-hmm. My favorite one to say is Lalita.
Lalita is one of the Vaishnavas in Krishna Lila also. Is one of the girls.
I'm sure she's playful because that's her name.
She was with Radha.
Yep. So that's why they talk about all of this is a big play, right? I don't know who the author, like the person that said this is all a stage and we're just players. So she's having fun. Right?
Yeah.
So have fun. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Have fun. Like, eat your cake, drink your drink, dance your dance. Have fun.
No, there's just an example, but I liked how I'm discovering many parts at once, and it's not really overloading. It's just eye opening, and I like that. When I used to read the Bhagavad Gita from first, and I read it from back to front, and there's always a talk about Maya and illusion, but I never really knew where Maya started from and who is responsible for it, right? And the Devi is responsible for it. She was that the missing piece of puzzle I needed to add it to my thoughts.
And other things opened up for you?
Yeah, and now when I could read back the Bhagavad Gita now, I could have a different understanding, or if I'm reading any other books, I would have a different understanding when it comes to illusion. Well, I'm speaking of illusion because there's a part I'm on right now, and I still have more to learn from the book.
Well, start chanting and praying with the Brahmin Shruti, right?
Yes, I'm gonna send you the one. Yeah. There's only one recording I found on YouTube. I'm gonna send you.
Okay, I'll be happy to watch it and play it. Because the more the veil is lifted, the more I believe the more the veil is lifted, the stronger the Kundalini can rise, like the faster.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we're gonna both be like bug-eyed before we're done. This is wonderful. Thank you very, very much. I'm so excited about all of this.
You're welcome. I'm also excited to make the recommendation. Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep recommending it. It's a wonderful book. And reading it alongside the Bhagavad Gita, that was weird. It lost connectivity and you froze and it was crazy.
Yeah, you were talking about reading alongside the Bhagavad Gita. The book.
Yes, and I was just saying how sweet it is to have this understanding of Ma being such a pivotal force in creation and all of this, and Lalita being playful and watching all of this still occur. And like even with Krishna, like talking and supporting is kind of still that motherly love from that aspect, right? But yet, yeah, it's really good. That's all I just wanted to share. Let me think.
I really from yesterday to today when I picked up the book, I really like enjoy the way it's written. It's easy to understand, and there's different things in the book, little stories, history. It talks about the gunas. There's the mantras and some Sanskrit stuff at the back. There's pronunciation also, and it's incorporated from different texts, including the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, the author did a really, really good job.
Mm.
And the commentaries, reading the commentary, like their understanding.
Some of it. Yeah.
You read the commentaries?
No, I saw the headliners, the subline. The subline.
That's where all the juice is. That's where you gotta go into.
Sometimes I peek when I'm reading books. Sometimes I peek to the back.
Well, the commentaries that she has for the story of the seer and the merchant and the king.
Yeah.
And then she tells the story, but then she goes into each verse. Majority of the times it's a verse or like a section of them, and gives more history, more detail, and more stuff to chew on. So
I want to get my hands on the Devi Puran. I have the PDF online, but I need to look for the book. I want the book.
Well, you have a better. I looked at it. I couldn't find it online, and I couldn't find it on Amazon. I did look it up.
I looked for it last year, but I don't think I have the copy. I lost that copy, so I'm gonna go and check back for it. If I find it, I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, well, that would be wonderful. Yeah, I was about to say you have a better chance of getting it. Oh, and then I wanted to show you. I was talking to a friend's mom, but the conversation started. You'd like this. The conversation actually started because she had told me that Shiva had a daughter. And I said, really? And she said, yeah. I'm like, you're going to have to tell me. I was in the middle of doing something. But come to find out, she watched something. She heard the news, but she didn't have the name or any information. So we started to look it up. And he had 8 children, and 5 of them were girls.
I only know of 2, Ganesh and Kartikeya.
He had 5 girls and 3 boys. So we'll save that for the next time. Hopefully I'll be at the house and I can have my notes.
So much. Like Hinduism, it's so much. It's so much. It's vast. Plenty of information.
So we're just going to sit there one day and it's just going to all come in.
I think that's what needs to happen. Instead of finding out, that just open my lotus of a brain and put all the information in.
It's coming. It's coming. But I think we have to sit still and close our eyes. More often.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I'm going to thank you for your time. I know you had a long day. Okay. And then if you want to close us out with some prayers, and I'll see you next week.
Okay. Closing prayer. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhu cha sakha tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
Thank you.
You're welcome.